Surprise! I'm not straight. If that actually comes as a surprise to you, you have not been watching majority of my videos. Like I said, this is not a coming out video, but I did want to recommend to you a few LGBTQ plus books that I have really enjoyed and that I want to share with everyone. I was originally going to wait until June of 2018 to post this film and post this video because that's Pride Month, but this idea has been stewing in my head for a while and I'm just way too excited. So I'm going to film it anyway. So I do want to recommend some books to you. Keep in mind that not all of these books revolve around LGBTQ issues or coming out. Some of them do, but others just have very prominent, very well-written LGBTQ characters. Another note is that none of these books are in any particular order, and I have not read all of them. The first book is Annabelle by Kathleen Winters, and this is a book about a young person who was born in 1969 in Canada and was born intersex, and for those of you who don't know, that is being born with both male and female genitalia. So this is a really good book. I got about halfway through it and then decided to stop because I just had too much work on my hands to be reading a really big book, and it was going by really slowly for me because of that. But it is a really good book and I plan to pick it up eventually in the future. The next book I am absolutely in love with, and that is More Than This by Patrick Ness. It is a beautiful novel. And I really like the cover because it's a doorway. Again, this one doesn't revolve around LGBTQ issues, but it does have some LGBTQ characters in it. And it's a very good ASMR book. The next one I just finished, and that is The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. Just read it. This one I have not read, and of this pile of books, this is one of the few that I haven't read, and it is Coming Out, an anthology of international gay and lesbian writings by Stephen Linkoski. I don't know how to pronounce last names. Linkoski. I don't know. But it's basically, from my gatherings, just a bunch of coming out stories. And it's not more a novel, it's more like tiny little short stories. Or like essays. Like, for example, on page 183, From Sex and Revolution, a document by the Homosexual Liberation Front of Argentina, 1974, translated by Sam Larson. So like little essays or short stories about LGBTQ experience. The last two books are two of my favorite recommendations, and I will recommend them to people until I die. The first one is not an LGBTQ book, but has several very prominent LGBTQ characters, and that is The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. First of all, this cover is amazing. It's one of the original covers. This came out in 2013, I want to say. So it has characters of LGBT. It doesn't revolve around LGBTQ issues. But if you like science fiction, if you like fantasy, pick this up. It's my favorite series of all time, and I will recommend it to anyone until I die. The first 3 books are out right now. So there's the Bone Season, there is the Mime Order, and there is the Song Rising. And the 4th book has not been announced yet, but I really hope it comes out in 2018. There's supposed to be 7 books. The last book I have to recommend to you does revolve around an LGBTQ essential plot, and it is a book that I read in high school and I absolutely adore, and I think everybody should read it, especially young people who think they might be LGBTQ and struggling with their own sexuality or their own gender identity, and that is Ask the Passengers by A.S. King. It is the winner of the Los Angeles Book Prize. It's a really good book about this young girl who comes out as a lesbian in high school, and her coming out is not well received. It is a beautiful book, and I think everybody should read it. I haven't read it since I was 17 when I read this book. I read a lot of books when I was 17. When people are like, oh, when did you read that book? I'm like, when I was 17. So yeah, I read a lot of books in the year when I was 17 years old. It's technically YA, but it doesn't read like your typical YA novel, at least in my opinion. It is beautiful, and I would recommend it to somebody even if they don't like YA or don't read much of it. It says, quite possibly the best teen novel featuring a girl questioning her sexuality written in years. Another thoughtful and often breathtaking achievement. Celebrates love in all its messy, modern complexity. Thoughtful, sad, funny, and frank. But yes, if I had to recommend out of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, if I had to recommend, top recommend any of these books to anyone, it would be Ask the Passengers, The Bone Season, and More Than This would be the top 3. And I have more LGBTQ books, but I have so many books that I couldn't find all of them. So those are my recommendations. So I really enjoy these books, and I think you guys would too. I am not straight, but that is really in terms of putting my sexuality out there on the internet, that is the only label I'm going to give myself. Not straight, queer, and I'm fine with that. You guys could ask questions in the comments. I might not answer them if they're too personal. If you feel like you want to talk because you're questioning your sexuality or you're questioning your gender, please feel free to message me and I might send you my email. I am here for anyone who needs it, and I didn't want this to have to wait till June. Yes, because I had this idea in my head, and I just wanted to send it out there. This is most likely going to be my last video of 2017, although I say that when I said like 3 videos that it was going to be the last video of 2017. It's just like I don't have any ideas, and then I suddenly have a bunch, and so but yeah, I'm curious if anybody wants to answer these questions down in the comments, like who was your first like celebrity crush, and especially if you're LGBT. Like, who is your first celebrity crush where you're like, oh, this is different? My celebrity crush, one of my biggest celebrity crushes, is Anne Hathaway. Always has been, always will be. And I have definitely hinted that I have YouTube crushes on people who are the same gender as I am, or the same sex, I should say, not same gender, of like some YouTubers. And that's why, if you were surprised by my announcement at the beginning of this video, you have not been watching half of my videos. But yeah, I would recommend these books to anyone. If you decide to pick them up, I hope you enjoy them. And happy 6th, 7th month early Pride Month. Happy end of November, happy early December, happy holidays. I hope everyone is staying safe and that everyone is happy. And if you are not happy, feel free to email me. And I will talk to you very soon.